Alright, what's good? It's Monday afternoon here in sunny Bournemouth. Weekend's been really crazy, and today we're off to interview Sway ahead of his latest single, Level Up, which is being released. You might see the video behind us, which is really good fun. Going to go and interview him up in London, and then we're going straight up to Portsmouth for Liquid Envy, which is the big Monday night session. Got Ferris. Ferris is rolling with us today. Make some noise, Ferris.
Right.
Exactly, he's in control of the camera situation. So yeah, going to jump in the car right now, do a little video diary series again. You'll see us on the way up there, interviewing Sway, onto the club afterwards, and then back to Bournemouth. So we'll be out for about 15 hours or so, but it's all good. You're right on. Roadkill. We're at Fleet. Okay, cool, we've just gone past Guildford. Hold up, my Farnborough Massive. Big up my Aldershot crew. Just stop off at Starbucks, at Fleet Services. I'm surprised Ferris didn't get nicked for his behaviour in the male toilets, that's all I'm going to say. About an hour away from London now, looking forward to the interview with vibes in. It's a nice day. Twitter and Facebook have been going off with lots of questions for Sway, and you know, lots of likes and comments and stuff, so everything's nice. Just jamming to some old Biggie at the moment.
Biggie Smalls.
Hit me no more. Lyrics.
There I go, yo. For Funky Fresh is the greatest in flow. MACC is the star of the show. Full up from my head to my toe. Yeah, it's your boy MAC, aka Mr. Funky Fresh. Hold tight the ladies, hold tight the man.
£10 congestion.
Hold tight the ravers bubblers. And it's the Fire FM extravaganza. Yeah, hold tight Mr. J Fresh. It's the Dub Play special. J Fresh exclusive. Y'all let me fun of your Funky Fresh. My name is fun of your Funky Fresh. Ravers fun of your Funky Fresh. Say Kelsey, a Funky Fresh. Say blood, a Funky Fresh. Say a Funky Fresh. Say yeah, I'm on a Funky Fresh. Yeah.
Okay, we're here Monday afternoon. You've catched the road trip on the way up to London. We made it with 3 minutes to spare. Yeah. One of the hottest artists in the UK right now, Sway in the building. It's good to finally meet you, brother.
Yeah, definitely. You too, bro.
Good to meet you, man.
Thanks for the support and everything, man.
You know what I mean? I mean, just off before we start the interview, I said we've crossed paths many, many times, normally on the south coast with clubs. Yeah. And it's good funny to be up here and meet you in person. Good, you know, I've been a fan of your records for a while, and a lot of what you're doing. To start off, obviously, the new single, which is out next week. Yeah. So much heat about the record. It's being battered. Radios, TV, clubs, everywhere. How did the concept of the record come around? And also, how did the collaboration, obviously, with Kelsey and Flux Pavillion, how did that come about?
I mean, it was crazy. I mean, like, you know, like, I actually made Level Up before I made Still Speeding.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, and Level Up was going to be my first single. But I didn't think the public was ready for it yet. I felt like we needed something that was uncompromising. You know what I mean? Like, because, you know, one thing that's been really exciting for me is being able to be in the scene for a number of years. And, you know, a lot of people are like, oh, Sway, are you peed off that it's taken this amount of time for you to get a chart success? You know what I mean? Like, to get a top 20 and etc. And I'm like, nah, because I've had so much great successes along the way. I'd much rather have this longevity than to come out and go top 10 on my first album and then just disappear.
And then you've got to follow it up
as
well.
Yeah, and I mean, most of the time, when you're overexposed, you know what I mean? People, no matter what you follow it up with, people just want to see something new. You know what I mean? People get bored. You know what I mean? Unless you're able to, you know, recreate yourself and be very clever in your marketing ability. So, yeah, I mean, it's a great experience to be able to maintain relevance in the game. And I was playing my record to DJ Semtex of One Extra, and he was like, sonically, this is very in tune with what the dubstep boys are doing. And, you know, you should hook up with the dubstep, right? I was kind of like, I love dubstep music, man. I'm not trying to infiltrate that. Yeah. I'm not trying to jump on it just because it's hot. You know what I mean? And he was like, nah, check out some of the producers. I think some of you, like, you know, check out Flux. I think you'd work, I think you'd work well with Flux. And I'd heard, I think it was the Cracks record or a record that he had done, a remix he had done for someone before. Then I went onto his SoundCloud page and I was like, this is like, it's dubstep, but this is like rap as well. Like, this is like something I could hear like MOP or someone spazzing out over, you know what I mean? So
yeah, definitely.
It's as simple as this. I Facebooked him. I sent him a message on Facebook. Hi, my name is Sway. love to work with you, blah blah. I'm a rapper from London, and then he hit me back, hi, my name is Flux, I'm a big fan of yours, let's make it happen. So you know what I mean. Next thing, I went up, linked up with him, and then he was in his last year of uni, so we went down to his student accommodation, you know, in his studio environment. He just knocked out a record, man. We knocked out a record for his album, Me and P Money. And then, you know, after that we did Level Up. And the Kelsey situation, I was actually working on a different record called Song for the City, which is a song about my city. And I called a guy to come and demo the hook, and he was dropped to the studio by Kelsey. Yeah, I mean, so she was she's a singer, but she drove him. She was her friend.
She was very much not part of what was going on.
She was just she dropped him to the studio literally, and she was in the studio, and I was like, I recognised her from a few Graham Daly videos and stuff, and I was like, yeah, you sing, right? She's like, yeah. I was like, do you want to try it? I got this melody. It's over a Flux Pavillion record. She was like, oh yeah, I'll give it a try, blah blah blah. And she was just right for the record. It was like, yeah, I mean, originally we were just kind of in like demo stage, because I was going to plan to maybe give it to someone else to sing or whatever. But she just nailed it. She was just right for the record. There was no need to change her. So we kept her on it. And fortunately for us, yeah, I mean, I think the record has worked well in terms of how it's going to do it chart-wise. I mean, that's whatever. That's for record labels to worry about. I'm not concerned with that. Yeah, I mean, like,
you concentrate on the music you're putting out.
Yeah,
you know what I mean.
Exactly.
And
that's what's important.
Off the back of that, and especially how you mentioned how you reached out to Flux and thought, you know, I like this kind of stuff. When we look at the remix package of the record as well, Sigma, Sunship, Predator,
Fake Blood.
You know what I mean? There's a lot going on there. Now, I'm interested. Are the remixes that you have on this project, are they all your input and going, I want this person, I want that team? Or is it a discussion between what other markets you may try and hit a remix record with? How does that come about?
It's more to do with the respect for the producers. Yeah, I mean, like, it's more to do with the respect for the producers and the reach of the record. Now, a lot of people, producers won't work on a remix if they don't like the original record, no matter how much money you throw at them. Yeah, I mean, like, someone like Fake Blood, you ain't gonna get him to do a remix, yeah, because he comes out like he's kind of like Mike Skinner with it. He like comes out, does something spectacular, then goes back, then comes out, then does that. So to get Fake Blood in, that's when we kind of knew, I mean, there's something more special about this record than we realized, I mean, because, you know, Fake Blood, you know, he doesn't really gravitate towards many mixes, and, you know, it is a compromise between me and my record label, obviously. I mean, I'm not like, I love the Car Hill mixes, man, I love the Sunship mixes, but that's not my specific genre of music that I listen to on my own. But the record label people love that. That's their style of music, and I respect it. So it's like a conversation we have as to who we're going to get to do the mixes, but I have to approve all of them. Of
course, because naturally the whole point of a remix is to
be able to
showcase a record in different areas.
Yeah, exactly.
And the remixer might take an element of just your record, maybe a vocal chop or a few bits, and come up with something you're there going,
exactly.
Where did that come from? It sounds sick.
Exactly.
But I would have never imagined putting that together. So I know I was really interested in exactly the dynamic of that. But naturally, of course, you're having the final say on exactly how you want your music and your stuff to be represented. That's obviously...
Of course, man. It's a two-way street. It's like we did a remix with Childish Gambino. That obviously is, I'm a fan of Childish Gambino, so obviously that's my input. Even with the single before, it was like I was adamant that Kano had to be on the record. I mean, I was super adamant. I was like,
"It's happening." KA,
yeah. That's exactly what it is, because I'm such a fan, and we have a mutual respect for each other, and we've wanted to work with each other for so long, and I felt like this was the right record for us to collaborate. I mean, especially after he chopped my fingers off on Top Boy, he kind of owed me one. You know what I mean? Like, so, you know what
I mean, obviously accompanying the record, there's the video now. Normally, I'll talk about the video now as well, but we put it up on Twitter that we're going to have an interview with you with loads of questions flying, and a couple of which are about the video. So we'll just push that to one side at the moment.
Yeah.
But at the start of the interview, you mentioned about the record, about remaining relevant to the industry.
Yeah.
And that's one of the questions I want to put to you now, that someone who's been in the game for a long, long time, not just on a commercial level, but in terms of underground, getting countless awards from across the board, BET, things like this. How do you as an artist remain not only hungry, but also relevant to the music industry? Because that's always changing.
Yeah. Well, I understand that there's a scope to always do better. You know what I mean? Like, a lot of people have got this really small-minded mentality of, you know, if you've been at a certain level, like, you know, move out the way and let other people do it.
You've had your time, and now just move over.
Yeah, when this is really silly, because, you know, unless you've reached Michael Jackson or Tom Jones status or, you know, of that level, you haven't actually really had your time. You know what I mean? Like, the pinnacle are these people. I look up to artists like Akon. It's like people come to my house. You know, funny enough, I got quite a few awards. But people always like point out the Soccer AM ball first. The Hacky ball.
That's the number one.
Like,
that's on the mantelpiece, yeah?
Mercury Music Prize is one of the albums of the year. MOBO and BT, and people are like, oh, Soccer AM ball. You know what I mean? Like, that's the one that people point to, and it's like. I love these things because they show the progression and where I've been and what I've managed to achieve. But then I might be in America somewhere and I might be with somebody who's won like 3 Grammys. You know what I mean? And I realise that there's more further to go.
You've done well, I mean? And then you think, right, my goals are even bigger.
Exactly.
Stage and how I can
exactly. So I never listen to that. You've had your time or you've had your moment, because my moment is yet to come. For example, if I was to listen to like naysayers and you know, say, okay, nah, you know what I mean, let's let the other guys have the game now, I wouldn't have come back with a top 20 record.
Exactly.
Yeah, you know what I mean, like, so it's always about growth and always about expanding and going further. The game has changed a lot in the sense that you know, back in the days when I first started out, it was all to do with words of mouth. Like, you had to go to gigs, you had to be seen, you had to be like, the way you got your heat was who was talking about you, who on pirate radio station, what magazines were putting you in the next to blow section. Now it's like, how do you determine who's popping? How many YouTube views have you got? Yeah, I mean, how many Twitter followers have you got? How many likes have you got on Facebook? It's the same thing, but it's more instant now. So the fact that the music is more instant means you have to pump out more music more regularly and be in the faces. That's why you have artists, like wonderful artists like Kanye, Jay-Z, Rihanna, Beyonce, who are like, they don't stay off the TV. Yeah, I mean, and it's not like the same song. I mean, I think
constant reinvention.
Yeah, I think Rihanna's had like 6 singles in the last 6 months. You know what I mean? Like, something ridiculous like that. And I mean, like, it's a new time we're living in, and you have to either adapt with the times or become a dinosaur.
And obviously, someone asking you about how the industry has changed and how much it's changed since you've been in the game is a question that's probably been put to you 1,001 times.
Yeah, today.
So I'm not going to ask.
1,002,000.
And as this is your last interview of the day after being here for hours, I'm not going to ask you that question.
Nah, you wanted to though, didn't
you? No. I had a little hook on it. See, it's already written.
Cool.
J Fresh Preps. Come on, man.
Cool.
But one thing being with the shift, and now obviously it's digital music.
Yeah.
And obviously you're from an era when you were selling hard copies and selling vinyls, selling CDs. Does the pressure of it only being really like a digital sale platform, does that affect your creativity as an artist? No,
it doesn't. It doesn't.
Good answer.
It doesn't affect my creativity. Like I say, like, yeah, there's a thin line between understanding your audience and catering towards the masses. Really thin line. You got to tread really carefully with it. Like as a musician, as an artist, you get into your own skin sometimes. You know what I mean? Like, you're in the studio and you, like, if you're not collaborating with people, there's no middle ground. And so sometimes you do things that you think are genius, but other people will just think are plain weird. You know what I mean? Whereas when you collaborate with people, you can do things that are reach a middle ground. That's why a lot of big records have like 4 or 5 writers. That's because there's 4 or 5 people that are happy with the record. You know what I mean? And that's why it become big records, as opposed to one person who is like 1 in a million, as opposed to 5 in 100. You know what I mean? Like, so I think creative wise, you should never ever like factor in the business or the digital side down to the creativity, because then you're just going to be making whack records, you know what I mean? Or you're going to be making transparent records. I make records that I'm happy with, like,
that
for
you
example,
want to make.
Yeah, it's like Still Speeding. It's like, I had no idea that would be my biggest radio record to date. No idea. If someone said to me, like, Sway, make a record for radio, I would not be rapping that fast on the 3rd verse, because I'd be thinking, no one's going to understand it. Radio are not going to play it.
Let's simplify
it. I would not, like, you know, the chorus, just having a sample. I would have done more on the chorus, but I just went in the studio and had fun. And, you know, you can't plan these moments. Like, you just go in and be creative and have fun. And sometimes they stick, sometimes they don't. But that's the nature of the game. You know what I mean? Like, it's just with bigger acts. You know what I mean? You don't get to hear the times where they don't stick. A lot of artists release records all the time, but you only get to hear the hits. When they don't stick, record labels pull them straight away. You know what I mean? They'll be like, all right, radio not receptive to this, no video shoot. So you never really get to hear it. Whereas when you're concentrating on an artist and you concentrate on everything they release, you might think it's like that. But it's more or less like that for every artist in every walk of life, you know what I mean?
I think especially with people who know about your history and know about the fact you're self-made and you control the project yourself and you push it through.
Yeah.
The reason I asked that question is earlier on you mentioned Semtex. I remember you did a documentary quite a while ago about how about how the economy was affecting hip-hop as a whole.
Yeah.
Interviewed loads of different cats from across the pond and obviously here in the UK as well. There were certain people saying they used to sell X amount of mixtapes or whatever, but now they weren't selling that. So they had to really think about what they put down in the studio, whether it would then get that radio airplay and so on and so forth. But like you've just outlined then, you can still say true and real to what you're about as an artist, still have the success of what people believe to be success in terms of industry recognition and the financial situation. But you do you, and at the end of the day, it will come through. However long it takes, people notice and go, right, that's a guy we support. That's a guy who's...
That's if you're good enough.
If you're good enough.
Yeah, I mean, like, you can't polish turd. Yeah, I mean, like...
You can't polish a turd. No. I have to start using that a little bit more now. Okay, wicked. I mentioned a little bit earlier on, we put it out on Twitter earlier for myself at JFreshOfficial, and I got to say big up at Sway UK for the retweet as well.
No problem.
Just so we're catching up for an interview today, we want a series of questions. Let's see what you got. As you can imagine from something like Twitter, there's a range of questions. But, you know, only a couple that we'll go through right now because these are some of the fans who want some stuff for you. First off, it was at Mert Russo who said, who do you think has helped you the most to get where you are today?
My mum. My mum, she's been very understanding. She's been very patient. You know what I mean? She's she hasn't believed the rumours that I'm a drug dealer and a criminal. She never believed the rumours. So, you know what I mean? She understood that I was at studio late nights and she always inspired me to go further. You know what I mean? So, mum.
Wicked, wicked. Second, we had at A Callum tweeting saying, what's the favourite song or what's your favourite song you've ever made?
My favourite song I've ever made? Bit
of a tough one there.
That is a really tough one. I'd have to pass on that, man, because it's like trying to pick your children. You know what I mean? It's like you have, it's like, it really is.
I guess through your career as well, especially at the start, there's certain records that you're so proud of because it's the first couple of items, the first mixtape and things like that. Yeah. It's a different, perhaps, expectations. Yeah. Different dynamic of, say, today and what you want to work towards.
I couldn't do that. It's unfair.
Sorry, Callum, but that was quite a good question. At Simon Sinfield, alive or dead, who would be the ultimate vocalist that you could work with?
Michael Jackson.
Standard procedure, really. Legendary. At Heats Jam, when is the album coming out? Who is on? 3 questions in one. When is the album coming out? Who is on it? And what can the fans expect from it? He's been a bit cheeky there.
Yeah, very cheeky, man. Wants more for his money, man. Digital age, innit?
One question, that was it. Heats Jam went in.
I'll answer one. The album will be out in the 4th quarter of this year. And just to throw in there, just to help you out, we've got everyone from Ed Sheeran to Akon on the album.
Lovely. And that leads on to the next question from at Frosty Bills, saying, who is your next big collaboration with?
Kind of let it out of the bag, innit? Like, I mean,
come on, radio presenter, club DJ. I've got to ask you the question.
You can pick Ed Sheeran or Akon.
Yeah. Okay, cool. Yeah. I want to see you on a joint with Screwfizzer.
Oh yeah, I like Screwfizzer.
Bad.
Yeah, man. I like Screwfizzer, man. He's it's like what's happened there?
I think they agree in the studio as well.
Oh yeah,
to drop the lights out.
Okay, I like Screwfizzer. I think he's very talented. I think he's gonna go far. And yeah, man, we'll definitely collaborate on something in the near future. Last year, I already hit him up. I saw him at a freestyle session, and I said to him, "Yeah, let's get in the studio in a bit." And he was like, "Yeah, he's up for it, proper."
He reminds me, He reminds me of a hybrid, early Dizzy, and Double S.
Yeah,
he's just someone.
I get you.
Being himself.
I get what you mean.
The tone and the flow.
Yeah, I get you. I get what you mean.
In that ballpark. Again, cheeky questions. This is from Adam, just Adam M. Awesome name. Stating firstly, he's a big fan of yours from the beginning, so obviously a fan from day. He's coming with 2 questions.
Okay.
Firstly, it's coming with 3 questions. What made you want to do what you're doing, and how did you get into the music industry?
Oh man, how did you get into the music
industry? I know, the question you'll put to 1,000
Sorry,
times.
Adam, man, you got a great name, but really bad question.
Well, I've got another question from him, because he went in.
Okay, let's answer this one.
Yeah. How come you haven't sold out and gone mainstream?
Oh, how come?
See, you followed it up with a big question.
Oh yeah, he was leading up to it, man.
He's in a
teaser. How come I haven't sold out and gone mainstream?
You touched on it earlier from creativity, but
I mean, like, I like my records to sell. I want my records to sell. Otherwise, there's no point releasing them. But I just want to do music that I can listen. Like, I've done records that I don't like, and I put them out there, and I regretted it. But at this point where I've been doing it for so long, I learned from those mistakes, and now I want to do music that I can be able to listen to in 5, 10, 15, 20 years' time.
Real music.
And be like, and be like, I captured a moment. I love what I did then. You know what I mean? So I'm very, I think about records. I listen to my own records again and again and again until they're right. I tweak them bit by bit over a period of time. The initial bulk of a record is made in minutes. I mean, I get in the studio, I capture a vibe, and we got a record, but the fine-tuning of a record takes a lot of time. So in terms of sold out, I know people talk about this whole sell it out. I'm not really concerned with that, man. My concern is just to make records I'm happy with.
I've got to say, from a DJ point of view, over the last 14 years or so, there are records that are classic records you can play 5, 10, 15
exactly.
times. They still sound fresh. They might sound very of an era or a period, but you can still play them, and it can sum up, like you mentioned Kano earlier, you play P's and Q's, it sums up that time and the records around there. So I've got to say, myself, keep doing what you're doing, because there's a lot of stuff out there that you think, this is a 6-month record.
And then, you can hear it, you know what I mean?
Yeah. Just 2 more questions from the Twitter kind of crew. Jack Horsley _LK. Why did you choose Tubes for the music video?
I love Tubes, man. Tubes is like, he's so funny. He just, you know what I mean? Like, he don't take himself too seriously. He's just an entertainer, man. You know what I mean? Like, and you know, I've always wanted to get Tubes in a video, and you know, after giving the directors the brief of what I wanted for Level Up, and them coming back with that treatment, it had to be Tubes.
And is there any chance that he may be on another remix? Because occasionally on Soccer AM he does throw down lyrics.
Yeah, he does.
Bar to bar.
We're definitely going to do. Yeah, we're going to definitely do a record together, man. Yeah, I mean, I love Tubes, man. He's a great guy.
I mean, the video, I know you've been asked this a million times, the video just looks like jokes.
Yeah.
I looked at the behind-the-scenes bits, and with that guy and the other guy's feature, I just thought, it's a positive, uplifting vibe about the video, but you must have had such a laugh.
It was fun, man. It was fun, man. Like, it was a bit wild, man. It got wild at times.
Exactly.
Yeah, I mean.
But you'll only tell me certain things about what happens
on camera.
Yeah, exactly. Final question for the Twitter crew. This is from Sheikh Abid. This is from him, not from me. Let me make that clear. Is it weird that I know your trouser, t-shirt and jacket size?
No, it's not. Because I say it in Saturday Night Hustle. I mean, so it just means that you're a good listener.
And he knows the lyrics.
Exactly.
That's wicked. Well, listen, thanks a lot for your time, mate. Really appreciate it.
No problem, man.
New record is out 8th of April.
8th of April. That's Easter Sunday. Real easy. You can. It's so easy. Yeah.
And for everyone to keep on top of all your movements, productions, the website, swayuk.com.
Oh yeah, sway.uk.com. But just follow me on Twitter. That's the easiest thing to do.
Exactly.
Yeah, bless, man.
Wicked, bruv. Thanks a lot for your time, mate.
Oh, man.
Appreciate
Good
that.
to see you, bro.
No, nice
bless,
one.
Man.
So Fresh, tell me about Sway, how'd it go?
Yeah, Sway was wicked, man. Timing was brilliant. We literally got to the studio the very minute our slot was open for the interview, which is cool. Met Jonathan up there at Iron from the label, who hooked things up nicely, sorted us out some water. Sway been doing interviews since about 12 o'clock, so sometimes you've got to be careful that you're not repeating the same questions, but we had a real good laugh. Threw a couple of questions at him he wasn't expecting. It was a good bubble. And we met a lot through clubs over here, so it was nice to finally sit down and have a proper chat. Just back in the car now on the way back to the south coast. You can see it's starting to get a little bit darker now. Me and Farrah's going to stop up for some food, maybe try and catch the second half of Man United Blackburn, being a big Man United fan. If we win, we're in pole position for the Premiership.
Go on the Reds.
Exactly, come on you Reds. Hey! Okay, cool. Made it back from London, everything was blessed. We got a little bit of food over a couple of keys, which was nice. Here at Envy, for the Monday night Easter special. Of course, always a good vibe up in here. Gonna get a little bit of footage a little bit later on of what's going on the Monday nights as well. Don't forget to check out the website leggoooclubs.com/Portsmouth. You can find all the stuff that we do right here each and every Monday. And obviously jfresh.co.uk is the website to check out for me. Let's get it bubbling.
There I go, yo. For Funky Fresh is the greatest in flow. MACC is the star of the show. Full up of fun from my head to my toe. Yeah, it's your boy MAC, aka Mr. Funky Fresh. Hold tight the ladies, hold tight the man them, hold tight the ravers, bubblers. And it's the Fire FM extravaganza. Yeah, hold tight Mr. J Fresh. It's the dub play special. J Fresh exclusive. Y'all let me fun of your Funky Fresh. My name is fun of your Funky Fresh. Ravers fun of your Funky Fresh. Say Kelsey, a Funky Fresh. Say blood, a Funky Fresh. Say oh, a Funky Fresh. Say yeah, I'm on a Funky Fresh. Yeah, I'm on a Funky Fresh. Y'all let me fun of your Funky Fresh. My name is fun of your Funky Fresh. Ravers fun of your Funky Fresh. Say Kelsey, a Funky Fresh. Say blood, a Funky Fresh. Say oh, a Funky Fresh. Say yeah, I'm on a Funky Fresh. Yeah, I'm on a Funky Fresh. Yeah, I'm on a Funky Fresh. When I'm in the rave, I'm so Funky Fresh. Dressed to impress cause I'm Funky Fresh. Like I'm so Funky Fresh. He's so, she's so Funky Fresh. Girl, let me know you're Funky Fresh. And on the right, and on the left, strike a pose cause you're Funky Fresh. Man, them in front of you making dough. Funky Fresh, you don't know. You don't know. You don't know. Funky Fresh, now strike that pose. Funky Fresh, now strike that pose. Funky Fresh, now strike that pose. Funky Fresh, now pose. Strike a pose cause you're Funky Fresh.